Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you on my last video, I went out shopping for a new chainsaw. And you know what? I am very glad that I did go there when I did. Because I went to Lowe's and this was the last one that they had. I was looking for a 20-inch chainsaw, which this is. This is the model 545 M2 and it's a professional series. And it is 50.1 cc. This one is significantly bigger than the one that I have. The one that I have is an 18-inch, and I think it's around 300 and something cc. I forget offhand. But I'm really glad that I picked this up. I'll tell you what I paid for it here in a little bit because I actually got a pretty good deal on this. But as you can see, I picked up some accessories as well. And while I was there, I realized that I needed some silicone. So I went to the silicone section and I happened to run across all of the different types of glue that they had. And I was like, you know what? I do need some shoe glue because the shoes that I have now are my favorite shoes and they're starting to tear apart. So as you can see here, I picked up a couple of these tubes of shoe glue. And I think that this is invaluable to have in your preps. Because ladies and gentlemen, the times that we're headed into, it could be that getting shoes may become a problem. You never know. With the problems that we're having with shipping, with transportation, with allocating resources in order to make things, you may need to get some shoe glue yourself to make sure that your shoes give you as much life as they possibly can. So I picked up a couple of these small shoe glues. At the same time, I picked up some plumber's goop. This is just in case of an emergency. This is like a silicone that will work in moist places. So if you have a real small leak, you can actually use it in an area that's wet to clog up a leak for short term until you can get it fixed permanently. So I picked up a couple of these. I also picked up some JB Weld. I picked up 2 of these. Never know when you can use this. And I also picked up a couple of these Gorilla Glue, small containers of glue. I think Gorilla Glue makes one of the very best glues there is. So I picked up a couple of these. And I also picked up another one that's kind of like a precision one. It comes with a super glue and another one of the regular glue. But these you can get into nice little tight spaces. In addition to the saw, I picked up a sharpening kit. I already have a sharpening kit, but it's one where you have to replace the bits. This one here looks like will last a very long time. You got hardened steel files. If you get one of these, make sure that you pick up the right ones for your chains. Like I went ahead and made sure to match the actual angle to the chain that I got. So make sure that you get that because they make different ones for different angled chains. As you can see here and over there, I picked up a couple of gallons of bar and chain oil. You want to have bar and chain oil if you're going to have a chainsaw, because if not, you're going to burn those chains out really quick. Picked up an extra bar. Just never know in case you bend your original one. And I picked up 3 extra chains. Now, the reason I picked up 3, ladies and gentlemen, is these are getting really expensive. I remember the last time that I went buying a chain, they were about $20-something a piece. These were $33 each. However, if you bought 3, you got them for $30 each. And being that I'm ex-military, I get a military discount. So it ended up being a good buy. Here's what I originally went to the glue section for, some silicone. And I also bought 3 of these 50-to-1 mix fuel for the chainsaw. Now, I don't use this all the time on the chainsaw. I use high-octane gasoline for the chainsaws. And then what I do is about every 10 tankfuls. So every time that I fill the chainsaw with 95 or 94 octane gasoline, and of course I have my own oil that I put in there to make it 50-to-1, I go ahead and run 1 tank full of this because this is very clean fuel, and what it'll do is it will clean the system out. But it's pretty expensive when you compare it to a gallon of gasoline. That's a quart right there, and they cost about $5 and something cents. So I bought 3 of them. It'll last me for years, because I maybe go through about 5 to 10 tankfuls of gas and a chainsaw per year, depending on how much I have to cut. Obviously, this year I'm going to have to cut a lot. I'm going to try to cut as much as I can with my silky saw so I can get some exercise out of it, ladies and gentlemen, get a little sweat going. But yeah, that'll last a long time. Even though they're a little pricey, they'll last a very long time. As you can see, I got 3 buckets from Lowe's, and what I'm going to use those for, if you remember me doing a payday prep here a while back where I got some Mountain House from Costco on sale, I'm going to go ahead and take those out of the box. I'm going to put them in buckets and then put them away for deep storage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, obviously this is the star of the show, is this chainsaw. I'm actually very excited that I got it because now I have 2 chainsaws. Before, I only had one, and like I said, it's a Husqvarna as well, and it has served me very, very well, and it is still in very good condition. I'm actually thinking about taking it to a shop here in town where they will give it a tune-up. In addition to this chainsaw, ladies and gentlemen, something that I did forget to pick up was an extra couple of spark plugs, but I will go ahead and get that on my next trip to Lowe's. This chainsaw was a great deal. It was priced at $599, but since it was the last one, they had knocked it down to $579. All in all, with my military discount, I ended up paying $521, I believe, out the door for the chainsaw. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is very important that we continue to look at those things that we may need in the future. Things are only going to continue to go up in price. I can't tell you how much in price these things have gone up in the last 3 to 4 years. Like I said, even though I purchased a chainsaw that's an 18-inch about 4 or 5 years ago, it was in the $200 that I paid for it. I did not get this one. I don't remember what the price for a bigger one like this was when I purchased mine, but it definitely wasn't almost $600 like this one was. So thankfully, I was able to use my discount, and I was able to find this with a $20 coupon so that I could get it for almost $100 less than what they were charging for it. I can only imagine what these kinds of things are going to cost here in the next year or 2 or 3. I feel pretty comfortable saying that in the next 2 to 3 years, what you're looking at here is going to be almost double the price of what I paid for it today. The buckets are a great deal at Lowe's, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a Lowe's near you. Now, those are not food grade buckets because I don't need food grade buckets for what I'm going to use them for. Since those Mountain House meals are already packaged in their own individual Mylar bags, I can put them in non-food grade buckets. However, it is always smart to have some food grade buckets, even if you're just using them to store foods like grains that you put in Mylar bags and then put in the back buckets. The reason for that is because what if you have to depend on using those food grade buckets to haul water? And they make a great barter item. So if you get in the habit of using buckets to put away your long-term foods, like your rice, your beans, your wheat, your sugar, salt, things like that, it's a great barter item to have should somebody ever need one and you have excess buckets. And not only that, they protect your food more than just a Mylar bag. So if you use a Mylar bag, put it in your buckets, you have the bucket for barter, for use, and you also have your food stored in your buckets. So this is my payday prep, ladies and gentlemen. This was kind of a pricey one, so I may not be doing another payday prep for a while, like 2 or 3 days. Just kidding. It'll be more than 2 or 3 days since I do another payday prep because this one was a bit of a pricey one. However, just giving you some ideas. Hey, let me know if you can in the comments, what other accessories should I be looking for my chainsaw? Like I'm thinking about going and picking up a chainsaw box or a chainsaw case, you know, one of those that are made out of plastic so that it'll protect the chainsaw. But let me know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, what other accessories would you get for chainsaws? I was thinking about getting a pair of chaps, but the truth is that I just don't really use chainsaws that much. I just want to make sure that I have one available that is in excellent condition like this one so that it can act as a backup to the one that I primarily use in case I find myself ever having to rely on wood to heat my home. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in today. I truly do appreciate you stopping by. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is The Last Prepper. I am out.